Hi everyone, my name is Sam Beaufort, and today I'm going to tell you why you need to have good people skills if you want to survive in a business. So for this, we're going to use the example of someone from a marketing firm wanting to work with the head of a record label to promote a new artist of theirs. And what happens before you have good business skills with people, then after you have good business skills with people.
So maybe what I'm thinking for our company is that we can
So as you can see, that previous clip shows someone not having great people skills. He wasn't looking at the person whenever he was talking to them. Even on a video call, he was looking around everywhere, so he was getting distracted by other surroundings, not paying attention to the person he was talking to, and fumbling his words. So he was not prepared, and whenever he would try to speak, it didn't come out the way that he would say something, and that can really have a dire impact on a business and if they decide to even work with you. Really quick, let's see what happens because he did not have good communication skills with this other person.
be a risk. Not no, 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 not a risk. Uh, Something that could set it back. But I think that it would be a good idea.
I don't really know if I want to hedge the entire reputation of my record label on a risk, man.
Now we see what happens whenever you don't have good people skills in a business. This person didn't prepare themselves for what they needed to say. They lost out on a major deal because they couldn't focus on the other person. And most importantly, he couldn't make direct eye contact. Nonverbal communication is just as important as verbal communication. And without that contact and without that reassurance to the person they're trying to work with, he couldn't trust them. And as such, couldn't make the deal happen. So that person lost out on a big deal, right? Businesses need to survive on these kind of deals in order to create more opportunities for themselves and to work with other people. So let's take a look at what happens whenever someone does have that confidence and does have those people skills in order to talk to another person.
Is to put the artist on a podcast. We'll set them up with their people on their end of the podcast, and they can just go on the podcast and talk about themselves because people want authenticity.
So, what did he do this time that he didn't before? Well, this time he spoke much more clearly and more concise to the head of the record label and was able to fluctuate his words better. The second and most important part of nonverbal communication was eye contact. He looked at the person, and that other person knew that he was able to trust him and verify all the information just by looking at him. And the third and probably the most important of the verbal communication was confidence. He spoke clearly, he spoke concise, and he knew what he wanted to say and how he wanted to say it to the head of the record label.
I really like the podcast idea. Like let the artists like talk about what they were going through when they were making the tracks and the album. I really like that idea, man. You have me sold.
So, do you see what happens whenever you do have good communication skills for a business? You are able to articulate your words much better and have more of likely chance of making a deal happen and making new business partners and continuing further business with them. All because you were able to have that confidence and have those people skills in order to talk to them. Not everyone in every single business is going to have great communication skills with someone else. And for the most part, that's fine. But no matter what, you do need somebody around to help you articulate those words. You do need someone to help you communicate clearly and concisely. If it's not yourself, then an associate of yours or an executive. No matter what, you need someone around to help make those kind of deals with people because if you don't, your business is going to fail. You need to have good people skills in a business. It's plain and simple. Without it, you're never going to be able to communicate with somebody else. And as such, you're never going to create more opportunities for yourself. Creating those opportunities is what drives businesses and what keeps them in business longer. So, for the most part, you need to have good communication skills.